Typically, when we talk about personal mobility devices, we're talking about something like an electric scooter, something that'll get you from A to B in a practical, economical way. They're usually cheap, they're environmentally friendly, and they're always very boring. This is something very different. This is the DTV Shredder. And I assure you, it is anything but boring. About 5 years ago, I got to ride a very early prototype of one of these. This year, it's finally coming to retail in the United States, and I'm going to get to ride the real thing. All right, we're here with Ben Gulak, founder and CEO of BPG Works. Ben, tell me a bit about the company. How did we get here?
So I started the company 7 years ago with a buddy of mine. We saw a gap in the power sport industry that we thought we had an idea to fill. Basically, traditional power sports are like ATVing, snowmobiling. It's older guys that are into the sport, and as they get older, the market has been shrinking. Action sports, so like skateboarding, snowboarding, motocross, wakeboarding, traditional board sports has been the most explosive sport market worldwide for the last decade, but traditionally action and power sports are marketed to as completely separate. If you're a skateboarder, snowboarder, you like going fast, you like doing dangerous things, you like that adrenaline rush. And we thought that if we could create like a powered vehicle that they could ride year-round but still had that feel of traditional board sports, there'd be a market for it. So the idea behind the Shredder is it's a completely off-road vehicle. You can ride it year-round, sand, snow, mud, mountains, you name it, you can ride it on it. And it really captures that feel of freedom of when you're carving down a mountain.
And it's kind of a push behind the US launch. There's a racing series coming up as well. Can you tell me a bit about that?
So this year, we're working with Terracross, which is the national UTV and side-by-side race series. So at the Terracross race events, there's going to be an event called Shredder Cross, and the Shredders will be racing against each other. And as we grow and bring more into the market, the idea is we'll set up more and more events and partnerships with other race series. And eventually, the end goal is to bring it to the X Games as a competitive sport.
All right, we're here with Ryan Fairhead, co-founder and inventor of the Shredder. Now, Ryan, we've got an engine in there, we've got dual CVTs. And can you walk me through how the power shifted from the left side to the right? Because this is kind of like a tank, right? You're speeding up one side to turn?
Yeah, so in essence, it's a dual CVT transmission, right? So it functions like a differential, except it uses two CVTs that are linked together. And by linking them, what you're doing is you're enabling the transfer of power from one track to the other and vice versa. And by actually biasing one CVT one way or the other, you can actually make the vehicle turn by slowing one track down and speeding up the other.
Let's talk specs. So a 200cc engine, is that right?
Yep, it's a 208cc motor, and it's a 4-stroke, single cylinder. It has an electronic engine management system, similar to a fuel injection system. It uses a Delorto ECS platform, which enables oxygen sensor readings and air-fuel corrections. Part of why we went down that road is for the emissions, for the EPA, and also for performance. It helps drastically.
It's actually really hard to talk and ride this thing at the same time. To turn the Shredder, you basically just lean side to side like you would on a surfboard or a skateboard, and it distributes power across the tracks and around you go. But it's a little bit like a jet ski or a snowmobile in that it really won't turn unless you got some power going, which means you got to kind of commit to the turn. Now it probably doesn't look like I'm going that fast, and I'll be the first to admit that I'm not getting the maximum power out of this thing. But, well, first of all, give me a break. This is my first time riding one of these things. And second of all, it feels like I'm absolutely flying. I'm cruising through the trees on this thing with very little protection. It definitely gives the illusion that I'm going really fast. And these things will top out at about 25 miles an hour, so that's pretty quick. And what's really impressive, as you may be able to tell, is that I'm cruising through mud, going over big sticks, piles of leaves, up big jumps. And this thing has no shortage of traction at all. It's pretty impressive and pretty tiring too.
Now, as fun to ride as this thing is, and it is really fun to ride, the most impressive part is actually the engineering and how much stuff stuff they've managed to tuck in here. There's a 200cc, 14 horsepower engine, dual disc brakes, 4 mountain bike shocks with adjustable preload and damping. There's even a snorkel on the front if you want to go running through some puddles, which we did a little bit of that earlier. Is the DTV Shredder destined to be the next great extreme sport? Well, once folks see these things thrashing around the X Games, I think they're going to want them. And honestly, with something you can ride through 4 seasons, through the snow, through the mud, through the dirt, and with a little bit of practicality on the back from that trailer hitch, I wouldn't mind having one of these on the farm myself.